So, Matteo, welcome. Welcome to the Photographer Mindset. I saw you probably a month or two ago. We first connected. I saw a little feature on Rode microphone. We love the Rode stuff. We have a bunch of it that we're using on our show as well. So we follow them. I saw a feature about you creating just cinematic videos for 365 days. I don't know if it's in a row or at least 365 videos that you're trying to just put out there. You're on, you said 120-ish?
164 today.
106. I'm off. Scratch that. 164 today of videos, and not just like quick videos, like cinematic, thoughtful, sound effects, music, plots, narratives, cinematic videos, one after another. And that struck me as, something that Seth and I talk about every I wouldn't say so often, pretty often, of picking something that's hard, discipline, creating a routine, setting a time schedule, time management, just pushing through some struggles to try to get to another side, and invited you on the show. And that's what we want to kind of dig into and talk about. So welcome. Why don't you give a little intro to yourself and kind of where you started and where you are, and we'll jump in from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys for having me. My name is Matteo Farinacci. I'm filmed by Matteo online. And basically where this all started is around New Year's, I wanted to set a challenge for myself. So right now I'm on a gap year. I graduated high school, class of 23. And so for this year, I didn't 100% know what I wanted to do. And I started filming a lot. I originally came from a photographer background, actually. I took photography class in high school, got a camera, super stoked about it. But video was like my true passion. I just didn't know like where to start. So I dabbled in it like the first half of my gap year. And then right around when New Year's came, I got an FX3. It was like my big jump. I got the camera. Like I have no excuses now. I really want to learn how to do this. And so I had this year, I was applying to film schools. And I was like, you know what? What's the hardest goal? Like the gnarliest goal? Like I want to learn every day. So I'm going to set myself to the goal of filming every single day. I think there hasn't been a day where I haven't had a camera in my hands and I haven't been on Premiere just editing something. So it really started with me just going around my town. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm so thankful for all the stuff I have around me. It's really an amazing place to film. And so there hasn't been a day where I haven't gone out to some random spot and explored, brought my camera, filmed something small. And it started with like 2 or 3 clips. And I just got so into it. I'd start doing like 15, 20-second videos, then minute-long videos. And yeah, I mean, not every day is the same, but I'm now creating a video every day.
Now, is every day a completely different narrative, or do you film like, let's say, in Premiere, you have a 3-minute narrative and then chop it up?
Every day is completely different. So
completely different.
Yeah, I think it helped me stay like on track I'd set an hour or 2 aside every single day to go do something new. There are days where I do have to plan ahead if I know, okay, I'm going to be busy this whole day. Or on my recent trip to Africa, I'd have like a 20-hour traveling day, which is super hard to film. So there are days where I have to film ahead. And if I have a whole free day, I'll go and film like 3 completely different videos. But I really try and do something new every day.
I mean, it's amazing. Just conceptualizing it for myself, I just feel like, that would be, I think I could get started, but I think after a while it would just catch up to me. So I'm curious, like how have you learned the process? What's changed from the beginning? Like you must have at this point a pretty lockstep process in terms of filming, edit time, looking ahead at your schedule, even like really trying to efficiently take a look at your time and make it all work, because Seth and I know film is no easy task, especially on Premiere.
No.
I've been doing it for a while and I still don't feel even close to fluent. There's like, just learn every day, like these little tricks where I was like, oh my God, I was doing it that way. Like synchronizing audio. I would stand there and like look for peaks for hours and try to do it. And then you find out there's a button for it. But what's changed in terms of your preparedness, or from video 1 to video 162?
I'd say workflow has been the biggest thing, just being as efficient as I can. Because there's days where, okay, I finished my whole day. It's 10 p.m. I have to get a video out. So it can suck sometimes, but I really like to have the mindset. It's like, I get to film today. I get to film today. Like, it's not, I have to film today. I get to film today. So that's been
Yeah.
huge. And I think, especially with Premiere, I have a very like similar workflow. Like, I have all my projects day 100, 200. Like, I have all my projects like really organized. I think it just makes it super easy for those inconvenient days. And when I'm out filming, like, I'm super thankful for the Bay Area again. It's like been best backyard ever. There's cool things all around me. So it's like, okay, do I want to go this spot, this spot, this spot? I have backup spots. I have like a huge list of spots and a great network of people who I can ask if they have any cool spots I can go film. So it's usually, a lot of my videos consist of like a lot of very simple shots, very static shots, and I'll just cut them up to like a song and just try and create a vibe. That's really what I try and do minimally. And then if I have the time, I try and maybe create a little story out of it.
Yeah, they come across. I mean, there's definitely an artistic sense to your videos. Like they definitely come across not just as, you know, someone grabbing their phone and videoing whatever. There you can tell there's a thought and a creativity to it. They're fun to watch, you know, and I think that's what caught me with Rode, that little feature. Just getting into your page and kind of getting lost in terms of, great musical selection, sound design, color grade, just sort of cool effects, transitions. When you're looking at your process as a whole, do you find that you're going through trends of like, I really want to work on transitions this week, or I really want to work on sound design this week, or is it sort of a holistic improvement day by day, or do you feel like there is that sort of, you know what, I'm gonna really dig into some wacky transitions just to put that in my tool belt?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit of all of it. So like when Rode hit me up, I got a bunch of microphones from them. I had so much fun with sound design, Foley, like all of that. And then I got a VHS camera one day. That was super cool. So it's really like what I'm feeling that day. But there's like, I'll definitely abuse certain transitions if I'm just super psyched on them. So it depends what I'm feeling, really. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to rewind a bit. There's certain sentences and things that catch my attention in every interview, and then I always try to backpedal. You said, sometimes your day's finished. You've had a busy, long day. It's 10 p.m. You said I have to get a video out. It's not an option. What's the mental chatter, the mental talk going on in your head when you're trying to make that decision between I could just get it out tomorrow and go to bed now, or I really need to get this out? I mean, where does the rigidity come from? And is that good for you? Are you enjoying that level of discipline?
Yeah, I'd say there's definitely days where I'm just like, I just want to relax today. I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to dedicate 4 hours of my day to go find a spot, film, edit. But I think there's just so many times where, like I said before, it's like I get to go film. Like, that's so awesome. I get to go film. Like, I psych myself up about that. And I think the discipline just comes to like, it's getting stronger and stronger because of how far I've gotten. So it's like I'm 160 something days strong. Like, this is awesome. I just need to keep going. I'm almost halfway there. So I think another part of it is, this is kind of off topic, but I surf a lot and I'm getting up early a lot. And so there's a lot of discipline there. It's like get up at 5 a.m, go surf. It's a really similar concept. It's the best times like golden hour. It's really nice in the morning. So it's just, I think for me, it's something that I've built up over these last couple months of filming. It's just a mindset of, this is something awesome I get to do. And it's still all about learning for me. I started this challenge to learn every single day. And now I've had great feedback. So I'm just super stoked on it. And all of that keeps pushing me every day. Yeah.
Is it fair to say this is, when you say learning, people may think, oh, learning how to film better, or learning how to color grade better, or learning how to storyboard better. Would you also say it's a personal, like an experiment in personal discovery? Is that fair to say? I mean, I'm speaking for myself here. Like, I've tried to do a lot of hard things as a means to find out who I am. Does that relate to you?
Absolutely. Like 100%. I think putting myself in like I'll make a video every day for a couple of weeks versus a year I'm learning a lot more doing a year. Like, that is pushing me to like boundaries I've never thought I could be pushed to. And
right.
I've learned a lot about myself.
Right. So what are some things you maybe learned about yourself that were surprising? You're like, I didn't know I had that capacity.
I think for myself personally, like my relationship with procrastination is completely different now. It's like I choose to procrastinate. Every procrastination it's on me. And so learning like my time is on me has been the biggest thing. Yeah. And I'm on a gap year, so I do have a little bit of leeway there. Like I have a lot more time than people who are in school or working a full-time job. So it's been kind of like this is my first year out of high school.
Wow.
First year like as a real adult. So I'm just kind of throwing myself into managing my time, managing myself fully. Definitely.
And you said you're applying to film schools. So I love the sense of I'm going to do this every day until I'm in film schools, essentially. And that's what a better way to figure out if you really love this thing that you're going to pay tons of money to go study. There's so many people that right from high school, I think a gap year is so important or can be utilized in such a good way. But so many kids go right from high school just with like this. I should be a doctor because my parents told me I should, or I should be whatever it is, whatever they're going to study. It's just like this imaginative idea that that's what they're going to be doing. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it's great. And sometimes kids know from day one, but how many kids get to really try what they're about to go pay thousands of dollars to learn? Not many. So
I realized that was on me. Like I could totally not be doing this, but I'm deciding to do this. It's just that film school is big. It's also like going to an art school, like art is subjective, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think really putting myself as deep into the film environment as I can, coming from scratch. Like I made my first video a year ago, 13 months ago. So really throwing myself at this because this is a big decision.
Yeah. Right. Let me ask you this in your opinion. So 365 days, I'm going to film every day, 365 days of the year. Very simple concept, right? Why, in your opinion, is that hard? Like, why is that probably, it is, difficult for most people? Like, why would that have been difficult to the old version of you in a previous chapter or a different version of yourself?
I think really the beginning is the hardest part. I really think anyone could do this. Just sticking through the beginning is so hard because it's like it's become a lifestyle for me. So I'm going from like filming when I feel like it to filming every single day. And I have no choice. Like to myself, I have no choice. I have to go do something. That's just what it is. It's what I've set myself up for. And it's public. It's out there in front of 37,000 people. So
you're accountable.
I'm 100% accountable. Like I started my account, had like 600 followers, just from like, I did a lot of photography. Like I said before, I threw that all on there. So like everyone I kind of knew was already on that account watching it, like close friends, family. Mm-hmm. And so throwing myself in that super, like not stressful, but like there's a lot of eyes on me, throwing myself in that position. I mean like, oh man, like now I have people like, when's like, you haven't posted your video yet today. Like what's your video? So like that's like I set myself up for that, which I knew would definitely push me. But I think anyone could put themselves in that situation.
Yeah. Some people really disagree with me because I suggest that you tell people your big audacious goals or the project you're about to start. Because especially if you're somebody who lacks self-accountability, like if you're having an honest conversation with yourself and you say, hey, I lack discipline, I lack self-accountability. Mm-hmm. And when you tell somebody, hey, I'm going to post publicly, like on your Instagram, I'm going to post a video every single day for 365 days. If you're not going to do it for you, you're going to do it for those people.
Absolutely.
Because especially if you care about your reputation. Now there's a difference. This isn't caring about what other people think, but your credibility is on the line when you publicly state you're going to do something, right? So I feel you.
Yeah.
That's a very good way to kick yourself in the butt. People are watching me. I made a promise publicly to myself and I need to live up to that. And you learn so much about yourself along the way. People have disagreed with me in the past that it's not very beneficial to tell people your goals and the things you're doing, but I really think it is, especially in that regard.
Absolutely. So I think that was one of the most important things. And Like, I'm not going to name any schools or anything, but I did not get into like almost any of the schools I wanted to get into. So I was like, what is every kid applying not doing? making a video every single day. Like, that was for me, just like as a, I guess, rebuttal to my applications getting rejected. But I was like, all right, this is what it is. Didn't get into the school I wanted. I'll make a video every single day because I know, like, at school, I'm not going to be making a video every single day. I'm entering film school, so I'm not going to be making a video every day. So,
yeah, and what a way to deal with, let's call it failure. I mean, failure is not talked about enough, I think. So you don't get into your schools. You can say like, screw this, I'm going to go whatever, but instead you go, no, I'm going to double down. I'm going to double down on it and like really get after it. I'm going to make my own way. Yeah. And who knows what happens with schools come, September. Is it September that you're looking to go or next?
Yeah. So I actually did commit to a school, and like September 3rd is my orientation.
There you go. But who knows what could have or will even at this point come out of this? Rode noticed you. It's a big company. Yeah. Some other big companies might notice you, come knocking. You're putting yourself out there for success. And even though there was a potential, quote unquote setback, like, oh, I didn't get into schools, or I didn't get to the schools I wanted to, instead of like tucking your tail, you just kept trudging. And I think I see, we've talked about it before, Seth. I'm laughing because I'm not really laughing. That was figurative, not figurative. But in my head, I'm laughing because there's skateboards behind you and surfing. And we've talked about, it's like any kid that I see skateboarding and like accomplishing tricks, as long as they stay on the straight and narrow, like they'll be fine. They understand the blueprint of, I think, everything, which is practice over and over and falling and hurting yourself and finally getting that kickflip and being like, after 10,000 attempts, I finally got it. And I think kids that skateboard or surf or those sports that you get crushed in the beginning, like literally crushed. You learn like this is actually what it takes to do anything, to pick up a guitar. It sucks. It hurts your fingers. You just keep going. You keep going, like learn one chord every day. And before you know it, you know every chord, and I think, I mean, it's right on your wall, that sort of work ethic that it takes to get to a spot.
Yeah, no, 100%. I surfed yesterday. I'm surfing after this. Like, I'm doing surfing every day and I'm filming every day. For me, surfing definitely played like the biggest role. Actually, a huge amount of my motivation is I had a really gnarly surf accident around a year ago. Completely threw me off. I was out for months. Like everything came to a halt. Months. It was like end of my senior year, and it's kind of the reason I started the gap year as well. It was super hard year. I was literally just in bed for months and months and months.
Wow.
And so not being able to go out and finish off high school with my friends, go surf every day, go film, go do the things I love, like that. I would do anything in the world to just go to the beach, bring my camera and go surf and film. But I had that taken away from me like in an instant for half a year, even more. And then I guess I kind of have that in the back of my brain all the time when I go film. It's like, this is great. Like I'm good. I can go do this. It's awesome. And I'm so psyched to be able to do that. So that's where a lot of motivation comes to too.
Yeah. It's a really important perspective. And we talk about like comfort and talk about the opposite of that is an accident like that or something that happens traumatically is often a incredible motivator to make something of it and have the perspective and the appreciation, the gratitude to be able to be back out there, to be able to do those things, to be able to, day after day, chase a dream without, that setback. You've had the experience of a setback. You've had the experience of everything being taken for a minute. Not a minute, months, could have been years, could have been forever, and sometimes that's a matter of inches. Who's the surf photographer we had on?
Brianna Bradley.
Brianna, yeah. Who talked about the board hitting her square in the forehead, but missed her temple by like an inch. And it was such a traumatic blow that, 1 inch could have been the end. So it sometimes does take those things in life to kickstart this sort of passion or ability to have this perseverance with gratitude Perseverance, gratitude sandwich. Let's call it that.
That's great. I love that. Like, obviously, like I keep saying like I psych myself up. I'm always hyped to do like film every day, but there's like we talked about a little bit before. There's definitely days where it's tough. But
so what makes you film anyways?
What are those days like?
Yeah, I mean, oh man, coming back from I was in Kenya for 3 weeks. The jet lag just sucked, and just I had so much. I'm still editing. Like I'm simultaneously like putting together a documentary with a couple of my buddies while filming every day. That was really tough. Like when we were in Kenya, we're in the middle of nowhere, no Wi-Fi, nothing. Like I'm worrying about mosquitoes. I forgot my malaria pills, all this stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff on my mind. And then at the end of the day, I still need to go film. I still need to go make a little video. I still need to edit. There's just days like that where it just sucks, but I don't know what it is. I have to go film. I just have to. I think it's a buildup of all of this. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. So it's quite obvious just with your verbiage that you've made a promise to yourself. I think promises are different than goals. Mm-hmm. They're very closely related. When you promise yourself something, it's much more difficult to let yourself down and let things slide, in my opinion. There's a reason for promises, but I want to know, is there, maybe not obvious, but is there a covert consequence to missing a day?
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, like there's been like when I was in Africa, there's been a couple of days where I didn't get to upload because of Wi-Fi, but I still was filming. I'm still uploading those videos. Like every other day I'll post like 2 when I'm catching up. But
right.
To me, it just feels like a failure. And I feel like that feeling before a failure, when you know a failure is going to come, is worse than actually failing. Like it's like dreading that you're going to fail. Like I'm going to miss this. I hate that feeling. And it's just like, I can fix that feeling by going
something in your control, right?
Yeah. I think it's having a super polarizing mindset of just like, I'm making a video today or I'm not making a video today. Keeping myself accountable. Like, okay, you didn't make a video. Like, come on, dude, lock in, go make 2 tomorrow. Like that's just, I think it's important to be hard on yourself with there's some times in your life where it can be important to be hard on yourself as long as you're taking care of yourself and it's productive.
So let me ask you this, on the hard days, what is it that gets you to go film those videos? I mean, we all have those days where we don't want to do it, right?
Yeah. I mean, in my brain, I think it's the repercussion of failing myself. Just sounds terrible. Just being like, you got it this far publicly. There's a little bit of, like, I'm scared of a little bit of failure out there in the world. Like, I guess I have 30-something thousand people watching me and expecting videos every day.
Right.
So being like, oh, you didn't post, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Like, not that I think anything bad would happen, but it's just for me, just that little slip up would suck. And I think I'm breaking a consistency that I spent so many hours building up.
Right. And so you have to be hard on yourself. How are you able to be hard on yourself without getting to a point where it beats down your confidence and what you think your capacity, right? Because some people are so hard on themselves that it ends up being toxic and counterproductive. But what you're talking about is a balance. And I'm curious to know how you don't let that go too far.
Yeah. I think I definitely have had smaller waves of burnout, but when I feel that coming, I do have to remind myself of, like, I have to remind myself of, like, again, like, you got this far, and you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same things. You're filming the same, like, very similar videos every day. Like, you were psyched about it before. Just, like, be psyched about it again. I think forcing myself into a good mindset has been kind of changed the game for me, just because I could totally, like, at the end of the day, I could just stop the challenge and it is what it is. But I think just that goal of, like, there's an end goal, like 365 days. I can do that. That's fine. I've gotten this far. I can get there. Pushes me through enough of those, like, burnout waves. Like, they definitely come. I definitely have weeks at a time where I just really don't want to do this right now. I'm probably on the back end of one right now. I can feel it. But it's just so important because that's going to always happen in your life. Like my whole life.
It becomes like a puzzle that you figure out. Seth and I have to, or we get to, I should say, Matteo, we get to put out a podcast every week, and Seth's done that for a long time. I'm on 2 years now, 3 years.
Well, every episode you do, you get exponentially closer to the beginning, right? It's an asymptote.
Yeah. But you figure out little puzzles, little keys, and there's burnout at everything. Sometimes Seth and I feel it, and we're like, let's double down this week and let's get 4 episodes in so we can take a break, like a mental break. Let's record 4 times, and then we have a 3-week period where we can kind of breathe, and that gets us going for like the next set. So there's these little puzzles or like keys that you figure out that you can create, you can put in your toolbox to be able to reach into every once in a while and go like, hey, this is one of those times that we need to do 3 this week because I'm going away, or we need a mental break, or whatever it may be. So I think it's interesting. Do you have any of those keys, those little tools that you found for yourself that give you a little bit of a reprieve? Because again, film is like, it's no easy bargain. Like you have to go film, which is hard on its own, and then in the same day edit and put something out. If you're doing sound design, color design, like all that stuff, like it takes a really long time. Anyone that's watching like a little reel or a little thing out there and goes like, oh, that's cool. If you're saying that's cool, it probably took hours. It probably really took like hours.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think the best analogy I have is, because this comes back to the beginning. I guess it's another surfing analogy, but I love to like say this to my friends. My friends always talk about this. If you go surf some big 8-10 foot waves, some big waves, some scary waves, those scare me. Like those waves that big scare me. Every wave under that seems fine. Every size wave under that seems fine. If you go surf some 15-20 foot waves, some huge waves, like then the 8 to 10 foot waves seem way less gnarly. So I think filming every single day, I think, is also preparing me for a great life of filmmaking, because like after doing that, making the time, putting a couple hours away every single day, I think whenever I have responsibility, I'm lucky, I'm 19. I don't have a crazy amount of responsibility right now. I think I'm preparing myself my whole life for I just like a great mindset, as long as I keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Do you ever feel like you fall into the trap of, because you keep saying, I've made it this far, and that's motivating for a lot of people to continue. But then there's the flip side of that, the sunken cost fallacy, where people are like, I've done 162 days. I can't quit now because of that. Right?
Yeah.
Like I've put so much time or so much money into X. I have to keep going. And then you're in a place where you can never quit, or you can never walk away on your own accord. Do you feel you have ever tiptoed on that line, or is it sheerly the past investment you've put into this motivation moving forwards?
I've definitely thought about that. I mean, every outcome crosses your mind, especially when you're like dreading going out. But honestly, like it hasn't been super gnarly. Like it hasn't been as crazy as I thought it would be, because it's so ingrained in my lifestyle that I'm thinking like I'm almost halfway there. Like I just need to double what I did and I'm good. And I accomplished this great goal I set out to accomplish. But there's 100% days where it's like, oh, I already did all of this. Like there's 100% days where I'm dreading going out, and like you're talking about. But I don't know.
And no one's really grading it either, in a sense. Like some days, if you make it a non-negotiable, if you say I'm going to go to the gym 365 days out of the year, you're going to have great workouts, and you're going to have workouts where you're exhausted and it wasn't there, but you still went, and the habit still goes, and the results still come. Something comes from it. Like, oh, I can't eat like that the night before because then my output's going to be terrible, in the gym analogy, and you learn something from every day that you're doing it, and you're putting yourself in a position to learn. Even if you do like, this really was a C- job, I just had to get something out fast today. Like I had no choice. I had to go to my cousin's wedding. Like I was completely busy. It had to be a quick video. I give it a D+, C-, but I did learn a quick little trick on how to export it a little bit faster, and it still did all right. Like you learn all these little things, even from the half-assed jobs, to be honest. And I think more of the non-negotiable, like I have to go do this process. You're going to get hit with these cool moments, these cool lessons, these cool opportunities that you potentially wouldn't have. It's the same in wildlife. Like you got to put yourself out there a lot to get the really cool shot. Like you got to really dedicate to it. And some days suck, but you're still out there. But you're not going to get the good days unless you are out there.
Absolutely.
So I think there's something to be held from just making it a non-negotiable. Whatever your goal is, like a daily non-negotiable, it becomes less painful. If you say like I have to work out 3 times this week, well, there's always tomorrow to make that the 3rd time or 2nd time.
Friday,
and then
Saturday,
the next
Sunday.
Day. Yeah. You know what I mean? If it's every day though, and even if it's I've got a busy life, like even if it's a quick mile walk where it's like, hey, like you have to do something active every day. Like even if it's a mile walk, like I still said, put on your shoes, like go do it. It'll take you 15 minutes. Just go do that walk. Like at least you can check it off. It's not a check plus, but you can check it off and keep that thing going versus saying like, I got plenty of time, to make this happen. So I do think it goes from like I have to just like an automatic sort of like, all right, what's the process? And then it becomes like, how far do I want to drive for this video? Like that, you're already going somewhere, but it becomes like, it's the next step, the next level of like, do I want to go all the way up to Point Reyes today? I don't know if I'm feeling that. I do too. I don't know if I'm feeling that, but I'm going to just go down to the Bay Area and do some street stuff, like whatever it may be, So I think making it a non-negotiable eases the mind a tad with those sorts of goals.
Yeah. And even the people in my life, like my family and everything, they know it's coming. They know like, all right, like we're trying to go do something with you. Like when's your couple hours where you need to go do that? Just like ingraining it in my life, just like when I had my surf accident, I had to go make time, go PT, go to the doctors and stuff. So, it's just putting it out there, making it a habit, a routine, just psyching yourself up to do it. And definitely like, I do have those conversations a lot. Literally the Point Reyes conversation I had yesterday. It was like, do I want to drive all the way to Point Reyes? That's crazy that you brought that up. And I didn't, but, those conversations happen every day because I'm kind of like explored like probably like 80% of like the Bay Area is like most of the spots here. So yeah, pretty nice.
Well, Aaron, what you're talking about is a practice in breaking the friction of starting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? To the start of our conversation, you said starting was the hardest part. And you know what's interesting, Aaron, in your example about the gym, I'm going to go to the gym 365 days a year. That's not the most optimal protocol to build strength and muscle. Obviously, like you need to rest. Like maybe 250 days a year is the best. But that doesn't matter in your example because the practice is in breaking the friction of starting something. Mm-hmm. Right? It's kind of like, what is your intent? Like what is, like, again, back to why are you doing this? What are you trying to self-discover or improve upon or work on or find out about yourself?
Yeah.
Right. And I think what's also interesting is, so I think starting is difficult. Yes. For many people, I feel like once you get to a point where you've really built a disciplined mind and a committed mind, and you're able to reduce the amount of friction when starting something, the hard thing becomes when the initial energy, the excitement, and the enthusiasm wanes naturally. Maybe halfway through what you're starting, or like when things slow down Maybe the metrics or the views on a video, they start to dwindle a little bit. And you really feel like it's routine now. And that's when I think it's the most important part. And that's when I think most people quit and stop doing what they're doing. When the sexiness has kind of rubbed, it's faded. And that's why you hear so many times that it's the boring stuff that gets people to where they want to go. Showing up, driving to the place. Then the stuff that's just like not sexy. It's not color grading. It's not writing a really cool caption or finding a new sweet pack of transitions. It's the stuff that's boring that takes no skill, but that you have to pound through. Like you just have to push through. And that's where, when things are slowing down, people are like, oh, I don't know if I can continue this. And that's okay. Yeah. But I feel like that's a critical moment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare to see someone, just adding to that, it's just pretty rare in persons, in personalities, to see someone set a goal like that and really push through. I mean, if I were a company that needed like content, let's say, and I came across your page, I mean, beyond the content, I would go, this kid can create like day after day after day. He has discipline. He can get things done. He's proven it already. Like that's a huge question mark answered, whether I like your content or not. I mean, there's plenty of people that can get motivated for a solid week and then they're kind of burnt out, like, this was I'm so excited for this project. And then when it's done, they're like, I need a break, I might even be that person, really. Like,
that's natural.
You dive into something and you're like, oh, okay, like let's move on to something else. To really stick through it is impressive and on its own. So just to add to what Seth said,
that's the thing about let's say this 365-day challenge. Again, back to intent. When you're feeling burnt out and you're feeling, I don't want to make a video today. Usually when you're burnt out and feeling that way, you can take a step back, recharge, and go at it full throttle again. But you don't have that option when you've made this promise and commitment to yourself. And that's when things get difficult. And that's when you find things out about yourself. You find where your limit is, right? And that's the point, right? Like that's the intention is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that has been the most important time. That's where I've learned about myself as a filmmaker. I've learned about myself when it sucks, when I'm simultaneously promoting a documentary, I'm making a documentary, I'm 19, it's summer. Like I'm still with like a lot of friends. We all live in the same town and I still have to go make my videos. I still have to catch up on some videos because I didn't have Wi-Fi. So it's a lot to balance. And that can drain me. But it just comes back to, I got to do it.
And that might not be the best protocol for you in terms of, let's say mental health or just like overall energy. It may not be, but it's a season of life. And what you're trying to do is prove something to yourself and find a new limit, right?
Yeah.
Like where is my potential? It's a good question, right? And I think what you're talking about, this is a formula I feel like you can use anywhere in life across the board, right?
Absolutely.
I did this 365-day video. This thing I'm doing now, or I'm attempting to do, is equally as hard. I have the track record. I have the inarguable evidence that shows I am capable of this outside of the photography or videography world, right? I feel like for me personally, again, using the running, like I'm a runner, that is a experiment and a formula that I can develop for every other area of my life, right? Doing a very difficult thing. For you, like here, it's the video. I'm going to do a video every single day. It's about learning what you're able to do, right?
Yeah. And a big thing is looking at all of that and then even just like looking at the times of my life that I've gone through during this challenge. Like I won't go crazy into it, but I have like pretty gnarly like chronic pain, which every day I just like I have to deal with that. And I don't take any meds or anything for it, but it's like there's days where just walking sucks. And I'm still pushing through those videos. I'm still making those videos and I like refuse to take any meds for it. And it's just, I'm doing PT every day for hours. So I got to put that time away and then I got to go make a video. I did those videos for hours. So I'm really pushing myself, and I'm so happy I've done it. Like looking back, like a lot of those moments sucked while I was there, but I'm so like proud of like what I've accomplished, and I know I'll be even more proud like down the line. So
Let's say somebody listening or looking in at this story goes, well, like, you're not prioritizing your health. Like, why aren't you doing that? Like, just take a day off. Like, what would you say to that person?
I'd say instead of like, for me, there's definitely a lot of moments where I could sit and I could just be pissed about my situation. But I think going out and making a video, just going out and doing just the action of going out somewhere, even if it hurts and it sucks, it's like that's a small win. And just having, I mean, now I'm on 160 small wins, so it feels great, and it's something I can anticipate, something I can always look forward to. And I'd say, like, for my health, this has helped my mental health, which is a huge part of it because it's a long ride of like getting better. So it's helped my mental health so much because I'm not sitting like in my room all day just like, oh, this hurts, like this sucks, like I'm in pain. But I get to be like, I want to push through, I'm gonna accomplish this day, and I'm gonna be so proud of myself at the end. And it's helping.
So what you're talking about is, Aaron, this theme we've spoken of where you're creating your outcomes as opposed to reacting to life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think it's all in my hands now. This has all happened like just as I turned 18. So, or I'm 19 now. So in the last year, this is like my whole life's changed. I've completely like revamped my mindset. I'm ready for the real world. Yeah.
And I'm sure you've had to, for those listening that go like, the kid's 19, he's in a gap year, he's got no real responsibilities. Of course, he has time to make all these movies, these little movies, being all sour grapes about it. But even at my age with responsibility as well, full-time job, a kid, doing stuff with Seth, like everyone's busy. Everyone's busy. You're sacrificing, I'm sure, parties and hangouts. You live in the Bay Area, like going out on the boat, fishing, whale watching, all the food and eateries in San Francisco, Point Reyes. Come on. I mean, there's got to be times over and over where you're like, no, guys, I can't. Like, no, I can't. No, I can't. I got this thing. And if you want something, I think this is an important point for everyone to look in the mirror and accept that if you want something, there's time. There's time. I don't care if it's 4 a.m. If you want it, you'll wake up. If I really want to go running for 10 miles, it's going to take a while. I can wake up at 4 if I really want to and get it done before my son wakes up. There is time. And I think that's an important realization that a lot of us go like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for a long workout. I don't have time for cooking my dinner tonight. I got to get takeout. Like, if you want to, there is. And I don't mean to be curt about that. I just really believe that if you want to have something or do something, there's plenty of time. So to the question is, as a 19-year-old, like what are you sacrificing to get this done?
So, yeah, I mean, that's huge. And I think that's definitely something that I'm thinking about all the time. There's absolutely times where there's parties, there's events. I was able to sneak in a concert 2 days ago. Like, that's the first concert I've gone to in I don't even know how long.
What'd you say?
I saw Don Dalla at Stanford. It was nice. Yeah, that was a really good concert.
Good.
Like the best concert of my life.
Awesome.
Really fun. I enjoyed that. But yeah, I think like I have to 100% say thank you to my family and my friends. Like I'm super thankful for my family for supporting all of this. They're super happy. They love watching my videos. Like my family group chat, they're like, oh, Matteo, your video was so sick today. So that keeps me going. And my friends, like I definitely do miss out on things, events, trips, even if it's like a trip with some friends, I miss out on stuff like that all the time. But it's okay because those same people will come with me and go shoot, and we make cool opportunities. We turn this into something great, and it all works out in the end. Like I have so many amazing memories just because I decided to go drive somewhere and shoot. I've met so many people just by going out to like a cool event to go shoot, or like I have some restaurants sometimes ask me to go like shoot videos for them, and I'll do that for my day. So I might create great relationships, meet amazing people, and make like awesome memories through this process. So it's not really sacrificing like opportunities, but I'm also creating opportunities as well. And I think it's important to look at it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Exactly.
just going to say that.
Yeah.
It's like building what you want to do into your routine in life. Right? Building your outcome into that. And Aaron, to your point, people listening, oh, he's 19, I'm however years old, or maybe you have a kid at home or a full-time job. I mean, it doesn't need to be 365 videos, one every day for a year. It doesn't have to be that if you're looking to do a similar experiment.
Yeah.
It could be, I'm going to walk every day this month. I'm going to read a book every month. Like, that is still a practice in committing to something. Or I'm going to show up for my son every week and do something with him every week. Aaron, let's say in your case.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't have to be this grandiose. I mean, 365 videos is very, very difficult and impressive, but you can have this, you can participate in the same practice by doing something that fits your current lifestyle, your season of life.
And to those parents, we just had Lyndon on, and to those parents out there, what better message to show your kids that actually to accomplish stuff, you have to put in time every single day.
Yeah.
My son's 8. He loves soccer. We have this conversation all the time about, I showed him this Kobe Bryant clip. That's like, if you go to your, he's talking about basketball, but if you go to basketball practice once a week for an hour and a half, that's it. That's not even close to enough to be great. If you want to excel, if you're just having fun, fine. But if you want to excel at something or learn something fast, you have to put in the time. And what better message, I think, to show your kids out there that, like, hey, this is the thing that I'm into, and I'm going to put in an hour a day to something I love. And that's how you learn. That's how you get better. That's how you actually practice at something. It's not just showing up for the games. It's not just showing up when it's easy. It's not just running because the coach said so. It's doing all the stuff beyond to make something happen and grow from it. And no matter what that is, I think it's an important message to show that there is time for things. You do have to move stuff around to make things happen, and good things come from it.
Yeah. I think there's a quote. I have no idea who said it. I think I heard Adam Sandler say it at one point, but it was like, obsession beats talent every time. And then I heard that, and I kind of like pondered on it for a bit, and I got really into the idea of obsession. Like, I'm obsessed with this, and I'm literally living it every single day. And that's just like what it takes. Like, Kobe Bryant is a perfect example of that. Like, he's there before everyone and he's there after everyone. Mm-hmm. Just obsessing over something can take you so far.
Yeah. I think the interesting or the important part to mention too is often people who are the most successful paid the most. Like, there's a large cost. So Aaron, in your example, like, you're teaching your son at an early age to have an honest conversation with himself. How much do I enjoy this thing?
Yeah.
And if I enjoy it a lot and I want to be really, really, really good, I understand that I need to put in a lot of time, right? Mm-hmm. And I think for everyone listening, even if you're not obsessed, you just have to properly align where the skill level you want to be or what you want to achieve with how much time you're willing to pay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the cost has to align with where you want to be.
Yeah. Definitely.
We don't all need to be great, right? I think there's this weird culture today where everyone thinks they need to be great and spectacular and the best. Like, no, you don't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to be. You don't even have to reach your full potential if you don't want to. But I think there's a hunger in a lot of people, especially in the creative field, to say, like, who am I? Like, how far? What can I learn about myself throughout this 80 some odd years, right?
Yeah. I mean, I had to have a lot of honest conversations with myself about that. Like, I think it comes a lot from the Bay Area culture too. Like, just, you have all these like tech billionaires, like the best of the best. Like, everyone here is like Yale, Harvard, Stanford, like literally Stanford's like 10 minutes from me. Like, there's a culture here where it's a lot of being the best, doing the best. And like, growing up in that just burnt my life out. Like, that's just so draining. And then looking back and just learning and taking away what I could from that concept and taking a step back. And now I'm on a gap year. I really don't have that many responsibilities, which I'm super thankful for. Taking like that kind of grind set mindset of like have to be the best at this, have to be the best at that, and just like thinking about it, be like, I don't need to be the best at anything, but something I can do for myself is learn every day and do something every day, which I see people like I've grown up seeing all the time. And so being able to see both ends of that, like I'm on a gap year, I could probably just do nothing, maybe go like work at a coffee shop. That's all I do. Or I could, like, I had an honest conversation with my parents too. It's like, hey, I really want to do this every single day. I'm going to work. I'm going to make videos every single day. I'm going to just work as hard as I can. And they're like, yeah, let me know how you can help or how we can help. So just looking back at yourself and reflecting on every action has been huge, because there's been a couple days where I was just so stressed out. Like the videos just knocking me out. Like it just sucked. And looking back and like, what happened there? That was huge. Because then when I feel that feeling coming on again, it's like, okay, let's look back. Yeah. That's huge for me.
I have one, to use Seth's running analogy. Seth's a runner. I'm not really a runner. I've dabbled in it and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But that's something, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for running.
Because you don't like it enough.
Right. No, but in doing running, let's say your goal is like, I want to get to 2 miles. I just want to run 2 miles, have a healthy run, and move on with my day. That first couple weeks is really tough to get to those 2 miles. Then you get to the 2 miles and you're like, all right, it's part of my system. Like I'm good. I'm just increasing my time slowly. This is good. It's hard to move up to the next step. It's easy to be like, this was my goal, and get complacent with the sense of like, I just want to run 2 miles. In terms of film and video, I feel like where are you taking these steps? Are you at the 2 mile mark where you're like, I just want to have a 15-second video that has like a quick narrative? Or are you constantly trying to go to 3 miles, to 4, to 5, to a marathon? Are you working your way up towards something in your mind, whatever that may be? Or is it just a matter of I want to do 2 miles every single day and I'm good with that?
Yeah. So this is a huge kind of debate and conversation I've been having, because I went from 0 to 100 really quickly, and I've accomplished a lot with this challenge, but it's become quantity over quality, I feel like, a bit. And so just like with my videos, like I just got to shoot an amazing documentary. I had a great couple weeks where I was working on a large form project, which was completely different for me.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I had a great time, but at the same time, I'm still doing these videos every day. So it's tough, because I don't want to feel like I'm sacrificing. Like I could be, with all the time I'm spending on these short videos, I could be making a couple huge projects, and that's enticing because I had a lot of fun on this big project. So for me, I think making the videos every day, and then when I can in the back end, like in my free time, besides making these videos, if I can work on larger projects, for me, that's going from like 2 miles to 3 miles, just accomplishing more big form stuff, because I think long term that is the goal.
Yeah, it's like again, I'm running 2 miles every single day. I have a really nice foundation. I have my stride. I have a pair of shoes that I like. I know the times of day that work better for me. I know what food agrees with me on my runs. I know my hydration schedule, whatever it is. Sounds like I'm a runner, right, Seth? But I'm not.
Look at you go.
But you create a foundation where you go, okay, now I want to train for a 6K, right? And I know I got the 2 miles in me. I know my job. I know how to work with this whole thing. I'm not starting from couch to 6K. I got a good foundation. I think that's essentially what you're doing. Like you said, you just pretty much started film and video not too long ago, and you're getting an education daily on how's Premiere work? What are the effects I like? What transitions do I really like? What am I savvy in terms of color grading or color correcting? What are the plugins I need? Like you're learning all that stuff that will make your long form video not couch to long form video. It's all these videos every single day to now let me apply them to something bigger. And I think, again, in a way, you are working on the long form videos by doing these short videos every single day. You're increasing that aptitude to do well there. Just as, if I'm running 2 miles every day, I'm closer to doing a 6K than if I wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also look at it like what you just said. I really did just start making videos. This is just the first year of me really just dialing in with it. And like I can remind myself, like, because a lot of the time, I spend probably 30, 40 hours a week making all these videos, like per week. Like, what if I spend 30, 40 hours like making huge projects that could get me to a great place? Like, what if I made a cool project, like a cool short film that I got into a festival for or something? Then I have to like remind myself, like, I still have so much to learn. And I'm meeting so many great people. Like through Instagram, I've built a great community on there. Still meeting so many people that are in places where I see myself that I want to be at. And I see myself getting closer to those levels, just doing what I'm doing every day than debating what should I be doing, because I think I'm doing the right thing. It's just getting repetitive, and I'm doing the right thing. I'm confident in myself.
Good. I'm curious if you go out and are you videoing for like Instagram or TikTok, like vertically, or do you crop it afterwards?
So I shoot horizontally. Like I'll shoot normal, like 9:16, and then I'll crop it to like 4:3. I'm in love with that ratio. Mm-hmm. And I think it looks really good on Instagram as well.
Yeah. Cool. And I think, we've been on for an hour. I think that gives the vibe of the show and why we wanted to have you on. You are young. Usually we ask this question, but
can we reverse the question?
We can reverse. Yeah. Go ahead. Reverse the question.
Well, we usually ask, like, what advice would you give your younger photographer, in this case, like videographer self? How do you reverse that question?
Where do you hope in 10 years from now, this dedication and perseverance, discipline, what do you hope in 10 years? So you're 29, let's say 30, you're looking back and going, what? Blank, fill in the blank.
Oh man, that was
a waste of time when I was 19. No, just kidding. I
hope that I exponentially grow this momentum. I think I'm really happy that I started this now, and I hope that then I'm happy that I started this now and I did this. I think I see myself obviously still creating videos. Like I just started this. I don't know. I'm always asked, like, especially when I apply to film schools, it's like, oh, do you want to go into documentary? Do you want to do advertising? Do you want to make like feature films? I hope I have a clear answer on one of the what's the niche and what's the route that I take. Because right now I like all of it. I don't know how sustainable that is, but I hope I have a clear direction. And I think eventually a goal would be, like, this is more of a physical goal, but working for a company or having a company where I can work with people, similar mindsets, creating great videos for great reasons. And I don't know what form that is in, documentaries, advertisements, but yeah, that's what I want to be doing.
Well, come back, go into your Google Calendar, mark it down 11 years from now, and put in the notes to play the last 5 minutes of this episode.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. You've got great potential, and I think a bright future if you're, as a 19-year-old, starting off like this. So keep it going. Keep it going for sure. I'm excited to keep watching and see where it goes.